front end versus back end development. So previously, when we were producing our site, we were producing our pages on the back end, which means you go into the dashboard, which is not what the user sees, and then you produce your content inside of there, right? So we use that Gutenberg block editor, and what we created isn't necessarily what you see, right? It's similar, but it's usually a little bit off. It is a very visual editor, the Gutenberg editor, but it's not necessarily, it's not really on the front end. It's not exactly what you're producing. So back end development just means you're creating content that's not on the front page, that you're using the stuff that's behind the scenes that the users, your audience, is not seeing. Okay. Now it is possible to create content on the front end. And in a lot of ways, it's a lot more pleasing, and it can be, I don't know, dare I say, easier. Now, the advantages to doing back end development, though, is that you have access to more of the tools and various features of WordPress that you're not gonna be able to get on the front end, because obviously it's the front end, right? So now the ways to create pages and content on the front end, one is by default it's customized. Okay, so you can access it a couple of different ways. The two main ways that I can think of is that when you are in the website itself, you will once you're logged in, you'll see a screen kind of like this, and then you'll see an option on the left here on the front end, meaning like you log into your admin and you look on the front end, and then you'll see an option for customize. It'll be in the top left. And then it will open up the interface. The other way is that you go, if you're in the dashboard, you're in the back end, you go to appearance and then customize. That will open up the front end, and then you'll see this panel will pop up. Okay. So customize is a front end development tool. It's WYSIWYG, which means what you see is what you get. Um, that allows you to basically make some adjustments and settings. It's not really it's more, I would say, it will let you do some page specific stuff, but it's usually more for like the site as a whole. You could look at it as being able to create your CSS that's going to apply to all the pages. So typically you'll see a little panel come up here and it'll be like site identity, and then you can choose what the icon is in the top left, and that will be the same for all of it. What the nav bar color should be, what the background color should be, what featured image is, what your main colors and secondary colors are, things like that. You can also manually, and we'll do this later on, write CSS inside of the customize, and that's how you can do kind of more almost page specific stuff. And depending on the theme that you have installed, it might be very minimalistic. So if you look, this doesn't, you can see there's only like 4 items here, but I've seen some where it goes all the way down, you have to scroll. So if you have a really robust theme, it might have a ton of options inside the customize that lets you do lots of things. If it's a really, really basic one, it might only have a couple of things. Like you could change the background color and that's it. There might be other things where you can change the typeface. It's a lot like just basically changing the CSS in a way, but you're just doing it through an interface as opposed to having to manually write your code. So that's one way of doing it, and that's going to be, and every theme is going to have customized. To what extent, who knows, but they should all have that. The other way of doing front end development is using either a theme or a plugin builder. So if you recall, last week I had you guys install the Elementor plugin. What that will do is it'll let you create your pages, kind of like the Gutenberg editor. It's actually very similar, to be honest, but you'll see it'll have some more bells and whistles. But it also is building on the front end, so it's a much more WYSIWYG than the other one is. So, and it will have different options and stuff, and it's almost like pre-formatted. So either using a plugin, or some of the themes will have a builder. Either it's builder as like a built-in plugin that comes with the theme, which is what I use, is actually the Divi theme. It's actually a really great theme, but it's like, I don't even know, like $300 or something. It's not cheap. So this whole site is made using that theme. but it allows you, you can see here, like you have these blocks and I click and then I can add content and then I can shift things around. That allows that theme comes with the Divi builder plugin or something. So sometimes the themes kind of have them built into them, and sometimes you could just download a plugin and you can use a different theme. Some of them are meant to go together. Even when we looked at the Elementor plugin, remember there was, like in the most popular, there was also an Elementor theme. So kind of depends. So there are different ones. You can see which ones there are out there. You might find one that you think is more useful. The two most popular ones that I can think of are Elementor and Divi, right? Elementor is also a paid plugin. They just have a free version that allows you to, you know, use some of the stuff, but you'll see a lot of it's behind a paywall. You have to do the pro version. So that's why we use that one. Divi, like I said, is expensive. So if you take the Web Design 2 class, we actually cover how to use the Divi theme. That was part of that class, but you're not allowed to publish it because I got permission to let you guys use it as long as you aren't publishing it. Hopefully that makes sense.